Hello, everyone, and welcome to this class on our chairs today. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this yoga class using chairs today. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our chair yoga class today. My name is Lynn, and thank you for joining me. So come to a seat in your chair and make sure that you're not leaning back into the chair and slouching. Bring yourself slightly forward. Root your feet into the ground. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our chair yoga class today. Take a moment to adjust how you're seated. We want to make sure that we're not leaning back into our chair, slouching, and in this relaxed position. We want to sit ourselves nice and upright and move ourselves away from the back of the chair. We want to have our feet rooted to the ground right underneath us. So if you are in a chair where your feet don't reach the floor, feel free to put a couple of books underneath your feet, or if you have your yoga blocks, you can put those underneath your feet, because we want to have our feet rooted and grounded, and we don't want to be reaching and stretching and moving our pelvis in a forward tilt or a backwards tilt. So as we get started here today, let's do that. Let's tilt our pelvis back by pulling our abdomen in, and then roll your pelvis forward slightly, and then tilt your pelvis back. So we're just doing pelvic tilts here. Nice and simple, exhaling back and inhaling, coming forward. So notice how your pelvis rounds back and how your pelvis comes forward as if spilling a bucket of water. We want to find ourselves evenly balanced between this back position and our forward position. So take a moment and find that. We should have a slight lumbar curve, which will allow us to sit up nice and tall. From here, we're gonna rest our hands right on our thighs with our fingers spread nice and wide. Allow your elbows to drop down right from your shoulders. So we don't want to be reaching forward, and we don't want to be pulling back. We want to be in this nice, relaxed position, hands on your thighs, fingers spreading nice and wide. Let's go ahead, shut down our eyes now that we're in position, and just a little grounding before we begin our movement practice. And as you settle in here, feel the connection of your feet to the earth. We want to feel all four corners of our feet, from our big toe ball mount to our pinky toe ball mount. So right across the pad of your forefoot, feel your weight evenly distributed from the inside of your foot to the outside of your foot. Now draw your awareness to your heels. Feel your inner heel connected to the earth, and sense that your outer heel is connected to the earth. Your knees should be lined up right over your feet. So just be aware if your knees are diving in or diving out, and bring them into alignment. Draw your awareness to your sits bones and work to feel your right sit bone. Maybe shift your weight a little bit to the right, and then subtly shift your weight a little bit to the left. Just moving back and forth slightly. It's not a big movement between your right sit bone and your left sit bone. And notice if you take more weight on one side or the other. And then make your movement a little slower, not as big, and begin to sense a balance between your right and your left sit bone. Allow your rib cage to line right up over your pelvis, so we're not jutting our abdomen forward or rounding our shoulders forward. Roll your shoulders back and allow your collarbones to spread nice and wide. Lengthen up through the back of your neck and up through the back of your skull to allow your ears to line up over your shoulders. Your chin should be level with the horizon. Allow yourself to lengthen up here and grow taller from your place of being rooted and connected into the earth. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Try and visualize with each inhalation a little bit more space in your spine. With each inhale, feel yourself growing taller. Continue to release any parts of your body that you may feel tension. And draw your hands to your heart center with your thumbs resting on your sternum and your fingertips spreading nice and wide. The quote that I've selected for you today is by Leonardo da Vinci. Patience serves as a protection against wrongs, as clothes do against cold. Patience serves as a protection against wrongs, as clothes do against cold. Allow your head to bow forward. Slowly opening your eyes, releasing your palms down. Stay nice and rooted and upright as we begin to sweep our arms up and back down. Spread your palms as we do this. Spread your fingers as well. Pain-free range of motion as you sweep your arms up and sweep your arms down. Leading with your thumbs, leading with your pinkies. As we move our arms up and down, notice anywhere that you have restriction. Don't force. Just come to that point of restriction and just pause. It's not about going all the way up and overhead. It's just going to where range of motion for you is pain-free. Let's do one more with our arms up and overhead. And then bring our arms down to our sides. Turn your palms to face upward. And let's just scoop up to shoulder height and then come back down. So we just have a slight bend in our elbows, lifting up and back down, lifting up and down. So again, pain-free range of motion, lifting up to whatever height works for you. We are keeping our hands at shoulder height. We're not lifting any higher, just to shoulder height and back down. Now, turn your palms to face inward and let's just push our arms back and come forward. The most important part of the action here of pushing our arms back is to keep our spine, our torso steady. Sometimes we do this and we round forward to get our arms back. Work to keep your chest lifted, your sternum lifted, your breastbone lifted. Keep your collarbones spreading wide. And again, pain-free range of motion. I can't say that enough. We start where we are. And one more of those. And come back, hands resting on your thighs. Let's roll our shoulders back. Roll them back. Collarbones spreading wide as we do this. And then let's go ahead and roll our shoulders forward. You may want to alternate if that feels better for you, doing one shoulder at a time versus doing them both together. Come back from here. Rest your hands right onto your thighs. And let's take our right arm out beside us. Palm turns to face upward. Spread your fingers out. Reach your fingers energetically towards the wall to the side. And release and come on down. And let's go ahead, take our opposite arm up. Reach out, spread your palms. Doesn't matter which arm you're doing. Just reach one arm out and release and come down. Hands onto your thighs. Lift both arms out. Start with your palms facing down. Turn to face your palms facing forward. Your thumbs upward, sitting nice and tall. And then turn your palms to face the ceiling. Lengthening up here, reaching your fingers out and away from you. Visualize energy flowing through your arms. I like to think about lightning bolts shooting out from our fingers. And release and bring your arms down. Let's go ahead and take our left hand behind our head and just cradle the back of our neck, reaching your right hand down, palm facing towards the chair, and just a little side bend. And then come back to center and go down and just a little side bend, reaching your fingers towards the floor. So we have this action of reaching our fingers towards the floor, but we also want to think about our arm, our left arm, and reach our elbow up towards the ceiling as we reach our fingers down to the floor. So we're contracting through our right side waist and lengthening up through our left side waist. Let's go one more time here, reaching your fingers, reaching your elbows toward the ceiling, and then take several breaths right into your left side waist. Reach your left elbow towards the ceiling and release. Come on down. Shake your left arm out. Turn your left palm to face your body. Right hand comes behind you and lengthen up through the crown of your head. Let's move into our side bends, reaching towards the floor. Now, I didn't say this on the other side, but keep your opposite sit bone rooted. So as we side bend, keep your opposite sit bone rooted. Now go to the side, reach your elbow to the ceiling and come back down. Reach your elbow up to the ceiling as you reach your fingers down and come up and reach down, reach your elbow up. So find this opposition of moving into a side bend on one side and a stretch on the opposite side. Reach down, reach your elbow up, hold here, and take your breath and feel expansion here into your right ribs. Reach your right elbow to the ceiling, release, come down, shake your right arm out. Bring your hands onto your thighs and let's begin to pelvic tilt, rounding back on your exhale. Inhale, coming forward. Let your focus be on your pelvis, moving back and forth, and let your upper body go for the ride. Let me show you what I mean by that. When we do our pelvic tilts and we use our upper body, we round our shoulders forward and we round our shoulders back. This is not the movement right now. We want to just move from our pelvis back and forth. And when we do this action, moving from our pelvis, our shoulders, our head and neck just go along for the ride. It's just about the movement in our pelvis. Let's do one more. Come on back. Sit up nice and tall. Let's take a twist to the right. Left hand onto your knee. Just turn and look over your right shoulder. Taking your eyes back behind you. Unravel, come back to center. Let's twist to the left, rolling your shoulder back, lengthening up through the crown of your head, and coming back to center. We're going to go ahead and do the cat cow now, letting our shoulders round forward, dropping your head, and then opening up, pulling your chest forward, gazing upward, rounding back, gazing towards your navel, pulling your chest forward, looking up, rounding back, gazing towards your navel, coming forward, gazing upward, and just moving back and forth here. If you feel like you're going to touch the back of the chair, just bring yourself a little forward on your seat. Come forward, look up. Let's go once more, going back and up, nice and tall. Take your arms out in front of you as if we're holding a giant beach ball and round yourself backwards. Gaze towards your navel and then open up your arms. Push your palms away from you as you look up. Round back, hugging your beach ball. Opening your chest up, gazing upward. Rounding back, opening up. Rounding back, opening up, rounding. Hands come together. Opening up, gazing upwards, rounding back, opening up. Let's do one more, round back, opening up, and come back to center. Bring your hands on your thighs. Let's twist right again. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Roll your right shoulder back closer to your spine. Lengthen up, grow taller. Come back to center. We don't want to force any of our twists. Let's go to the opposite side. Rolling your shoulders back, lengthening up. Come back to center. Let's move a little closer, if you're not already there, to the edge of your chair. Take your feet wide and then turn your feet outward. We're just going to go ahead and round and fold ourselves forward. So for some of us, it may be just resting our hands on our thighs, letting your head drop. Some of you may be able to go all the way down to the floor with your hands, letting your head hang and drop. Just be in the position that's comfortable for you. Releasing your lower back. So we're not forcing the stretch here, but I want you to keep your hands supported on something, your thighs or the floor. And round yourself all the way back up. Coming up, sitting up nice and tall, letting your collarbones spread wide and walking your feet in. Let's go ahead, take our right leg straight out in front of us. You can take your left leg out to the side a little bit or right in alignment. Flex your right foot and lean forward here. Hands can stay on your hips or down to your shin. So I got my right hand on my shin, my left hand on my thigh, keeping my foot flexed, letting my head drop. So we're not forcing anything here. Just sense and feel the back of your leg, maybe the back of your calf. Let's go ahead and round and bring ourselves up. Make sure you're pulling your navel into your spine. And let's go ahead and switch. Take your opposite leg out. Right leg now goes out to the side or straight out in front of you. Lengthen up and then round and drop. So once again, my left hand is on my thigh. My right hand is on my left hand is on my shin. My right hand is on my thigh. Feet are flexed. Lengthening here. And let's slowly pull your navel into your spine. Bring yourself up. Bringing your feet together. Knees together, feet together, sitting up nice and tall. Collarbones spread wide. Hands on your thighs. Sweep your right arm up. Reach down. Little side bend. Now really reach up through your right fingertips. You can go back to your hand behind your head. Root down into your right sit bone. And rise up. Let's switch sides. Arm goes up. Reach, stretch, side bend here. Root into your left sit bone. Reach up, extend up through your left elbow. And bring yourself up. We're going to go ahead and stand up now. One of the things that I want you to think about is safety. So I want your chair to be on your mat or against a wall or maybe even your sofa, so that your chair doesn't go sliding out and away from you. We're going to stand right in front of our chair with our feet nice and parallel, nice and tall here. We want to feel all four corners of our feet connected to the ground. I'm going to just face you for a moment. You're still facing your chair. We want for a moment here to just feel our feet. Feel your whole front of your foot, from the pad of your big toe to your pinky toe. Feel your outer heel connect to your inner heel. Lift and spread your toes up. Set your toes back down. Lift and spread your toes up. Set your toes back down. Once more, lift and spread your toes up. Set your toes back down. With your hands to your hips, hinge forward. So we want to hinge forward. We just want to grab the back of our chair. Separate your feet almost as wide as your chair. And work to stick your sit bones up behind you. So we want to lengthen through our lumbar curve. When our hamstrings are really tight, it's harder to stick our sit bones up in the air. Release any death grip on the chair. Let your fingers be nice and soft. We're going to do that once more. Little tuck of your tail, and then stick your sit bones up in the air. Really feel this nice length through the back of your hamstrings. Bend your knees, bring your hands to your hips, and come up to standing. Walk your feet in a little bit. So as we look down at our feet, our second toe is in line with our knees and in turn lined up with our hips. Roll your shoulders back. Sweep your arms up and overhead. Spread your palms. Fold forward, bring your hands to the back of the chair. Work to stick your sit bones up in the air once again. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. And now we're going to walk our hands down to the seat of the chair. Lengthening up through the crown of our head. So we gaze down at the chair so that the back of our neck is long. If you have wrist issues, you can hold the side of the chair. Otherwise, hands will be flat. We're going to bend our knees and we're going to start to look up and look forward. And then we're going to straighten our legs and we're just going to let our head drop. Bend your knees, look up, gaze forward. Drop your head, straightening your legs. Bend your knees, look up. Drop your head, straightening your legs. Bending your knees, looking up. Straightening your legs, dropping your head. Once more, bending your knees, looking up. Straightening your legs, dropping your head. And let's bend our knees to come out of this. Bend your knees, hands to your hips, rise up to stand, straightening your legs. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Stand tall. Root into your feet. Reach your arms up to the sky. Now fold forward. Work to hinge from your hips. Lift your sit bones. Bring your hands to the back of the chair. And from here, slide your hands down to the seat of the chair. lengthening up. Now we're going to hold the outside of the chair, wrapping your fingers around the chair with your thumb on top, and we're going to walk our feet backwards into our chair downward facing dog. So this is where we really want to make sure that our chair is not going to get away from us and slide. Our feet are parallel. We drop our head between our arms, and we're going to do that same bend our knees, but we're just going to keep our head gazing towards the floor. So bend your knees and straighten your knees. Bend your knees and straighten your knees. Now, as you're looking down towards the floor, sneak a peek and look at your legs. As we bend our knees and straighten our knees, we want to make sure that our knees are tracking right over our second toe. Right over our second toe. Let's do one more of these. Bend your knees, straighten your knees, walk your feet forward. Make sure your feet are parallel. Bend your knees, bring your hands to your hips, straighten your legs, come up to stand. Feet are parallel, second toes lined up with our knees and our hips. Let's inhale, sweep our arms up and overhead, reach to the sky. Fold forward, grab the back of the chair. Stick your sit bones up in the air, open up your hamstrings. Walk your hands down to the outside edge of the chair, thumbs are on top. Walk your feet back into our downward facing dog here. So another point with dog pose in the chair, our heels stay down on the ground. Lengthen here. Lift your sit bones up in the air. Try not to have a death grip on the chair. And just turn your head a little bit from side to side as if you're saying no. And now move your head up and down as if you're saying yes. Now take your gaze forward and you're going to step your right leg forward to the chair. So we're in a supported lunge stance here. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Now, if you feel like you need a little more support or you need to come up a little higher, you can hold the back of the chair. You have an option here. If you're holding the back of the chair, you may want to bring your shin as close to the chair as possible so you don't feel like you're really reaching. And whichever position you're in, pull your shoulders away from your ears. We've got our back leg strong here, straight. We're going to do a little bend our back knee and straighten our back knee. You can sneak a peek, look at your knee, make sure it's just bending straight down and pushing back. Bending down and pushing back. Let's do one more of those. Bend down and push back. Let's step back into our downward facing dog. Letting your head drop. Make sure your feet are parallel. Work to lift your sit bones. Let's look forward now and step your left leg forward into your lunge. So once again, same thing. You can hold the top of the chair. Make sure your knee is as close to the chair as you can get it, or you can hold the bottom of the chair. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. And let's go ahead and bend our back knee and straighten our back knee. Bend our back knee. So just be mindful of your balance here. I know this can be a little challenging for those of you who have some issues with your toes, but this is also good to get some range of motion going in your toes. Let's do one more. Bend and then straighten your back leg. Let's step back into downward facing dog. Make sure your feet are parallel. Drop your head. And let's walk our feet forward. Let your head drop. So you can either bring your head down to the chair if you've got that flexibility,
and hold your hands down on the rungs of the legs of the chair. If not, just hold the chair, hold the top of the chair, wherever your hamstrings allow you to fold in your forward bend. Let's bend our knees, bring our hands to our hips, and bring ourselves up to stand nice and tall. We're going to take our chair now, and we're going to put the chair, so if you're facing me, the chair will go on your mat, so the back of the chair is on your mat and the legs are out. We're just going to use the chair as a little bit of support and for our standing pose today. We're going to take our legs wide. You're going to go as wide as you're comfortable with your legs. Take your right leg and turn it out, and then bend your front knee, and we're going to come into a warrior two position. You can let go, bring your opposite arm up, or if you feel you need to balance with both hands, bring both hands to the chair, or just whatever arm you feel like maybe a little fatigued or doesn't move that way, you can just keep alternating your arms. So our front knee and ankle is straight up and down over our toe. Holding this warrior two position, you can gaze out over your extended right hand. Now come on down. Let's straighten your front leg. Let's pivot from our hips, bending our now left knee, either one arm up in the air, whichever arm, right or left, or both arms up in the air. You turn your head and you gaze out over your extended fingers. Allowing this whole front of your chest to open, your collarbones, back to the lightning bolt, shooting out through your fingers. Press into your back leg, come up. We're going to do it again on the first side. So let's take our right foot, turn it out. Left leg turns in. We bend our front knee, we come into our warrior, we hold the chair, or we let go of the chair. Just wherever you are, reach out through your extended fingers, lengthening out, 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 out. Slowly turn your head if you haven't already and look out over your front arm. Gaze off into the distance, past your fingers. Let's press into your back leg, come up. Chair is there for you to balance with. Let's turn our legs out. We're moving from our hips. Left leg's now in front. Bend your front knee. Open up your arm or your arms. Whichever one is going to work for you today. Gaze out over your extended fingers. Press into your back leg. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Allow your collarbones to spread nice and wide. Gaze out through your extended fingers. And let's press into our legs, come up, strong legs, walk your feet in. And we have our chair as balance. I am going to move my chair so that it is on the left side of my body. So you can just pivot and stand so that your left leg is on the ground. Your left hand is
holding the chair for balance. We're going to start with kickstand tree. So we're going to go ahead and just take our foot right up into our shin. So our heel is in our shin and our toe is on the floor. And let's take our right arm up in the air and balance. Spread your fingers, reach up to the sky. Feel your foot connected to the earth. And let's release our arm down and release. I'm just going to turn around and face the other way. So right leg is next to the chair. You're going to come into kickstand tree, bringing your heel to your shin and your toes to the floor, using the chair to help you balance, taking your left arm up in the air, reaching upwards, growing taller. For those of you who can let go, by all means, take your opposite arm up in the air. The chair is just here to give us support in our balance work. Soften your jaws, soften your eyes. Remember to smile when you're doing tree. And let's go ahead and release our arm down, release our foot, and let's go back to our first side. Standing on your left foot, coming into either kickstand tree or coming to your shin. Feel the connection of your foot to the ground. Use your chair as balance. Take your arm up in the air. If you feel like you have your balance, you can take both arms up in the air. Feel yourself growing taller, lengthening up, smiling, and release. And come on down, feet to the floor. We're going to turn and pivot to the opposite side. Kickstand tree or to your shin. Coming up, reaching your same side arm up in the air. If you feel like you can balance without holding on, take your other arm up in the air. Be where you are. There's no right or wrong yoga. We just want to work to align our bodies, make our bodies stronger, and release and come on down. And let's go ahead and sit back in our chairs. Sitting on the edge of our chair, nice and tall, and we're going to take our arms back behind us. Now, some of you may have the range of motion to hold on to the chair. So you're just going to grasp the chair, squeeze your shoulder blades together. If it's too much to get your hands back to the chair, take them back as far as you can and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lean forward just a little bit, lifting your chest up. Make sure you're on the edge of the chair. It's going to make you more successful here. Opening up, let your collarbones spread wide. Keep your gaze forward. Resist that urge to look up towards the ceiling. Just look forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lean just a little bit more forward. And then bring yourself back. Arms up. Twist right. Look over your shoulders. Taking your eyes back behind you. Unravel, come back to center. Sweep your arms back up. Twist to the left. Look over your shoulder. Bring yourself back to center. Let's go back to taking our feet wide. So we want to sit right on the edge of our chair. We're going to round ourselves forward. So hands are once again supported on your thighs or your shins, or they're going to come down to the floor. If you've got more range of motion, you can walk your hands and grab your outer ankles. I'm showing that version right now. And you need to not force in whatever position you're in. And let's slowly come on up. Rolling your shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall. Walking your feet together. Lengthening up through the crown of your head. Rest your hands back on your thighs. Shut down your eyes. Feel your feet connected to the earth. Feel all four corners of your feet. Feel your sit bones connected to the chair. Align your spine back up. Let your collarbone spread wide. Allow your elbows to drop right underneath your shoulders. Spread your palms. Spread your fingers. And lengthen up through the crown of your head. Settle in here and release any thoughts that come in. And just begin to observe your physical body, the sensations of how your body feels now after finishing our practice compared to how when you first sat. Are you aware of the differences? Are you aware of being more open? What is the sensation that you are aware of in this moment? And bring your hands to your heart center, allowing your head to bow down. Patience serves as protection against wrongs, as clothes do against cold. Remember to be patient with yourself as you practice yoga. There is no perfect way to practice yoga. There is no perfect yoga pose. It's what we're doing in the moment, connecting our mind and body together through movement and breath. Namaste. And thank you all for joining me today.